So I wasn't sure if I was going to make it today. Went to the dentist. I might even sound a little funny. Face may look a little swollen, but we're going to try to get it done. So hello and welcome back. Yesterday we went live. We spoke about 20 minutes and we talked about leaving your comfort zone. And the question that I asked yesterday was to think about, well, it was actually two questions. Why are you really here? And what is it that you want to do? Right? So I gave you a specific strategy on how to change your mindset. I gave you a challenge towards the end, and I hope it was a great experience for you. For those of you who got the chance to see it, I thank you. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I implore you, encourage you to go check it out. So I believe you'll get something out of it. So here we are, day 2. 2 days in a row, right? We're going to discuss ways for you to find your niche. I talk a lot about repositioning strategies. If you ever see me on my Instagram page, Stolard, then you will know that repositioning strategies is something that I talk about pretty much on a regular basis. But before you can determine if repositioning is necessary, you have to define your niche, or at least determine if the niche that you're currently on is really where you want to be. So you know how much easier life is when you're doing something that you love, your true passion, the thing that you're meant to do and be. Determining your niche is so necessary. If you're not working on what is believed to be your niche, that's fine. You can always reposition yourself. But in order to do so, you want to make sure that you find your niche. You don't want to, let's say, jump from thing to thing, right? Jumping to the next shiny object. If that's something you need help with, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about education. So although I've earned a few degrees, that wasn't where I started. I told you a little bit about my story yesterday, working in information technology and being let go unexpectedly, even though I felt like I was doing very well. I was in the top ranking in my department, always consistently. It was truly an upsetting experience. But I tell you, I've had to change directions a few different times. And what I know now is that's completely normal. Sometimes it happens like that, right? It doesn't always have to be, though. So I'm trying to give you the strategy to help you get to where you want to go faster. And so again, you know how much easier life is when you are doing something you truly love, that you're passionate about, that you're meant to do. Going into work every morning, whether that means driving or walking to your living room to open up your laptop, imagining doing what you want to do. That's your career every day. Do you know what that means? That means that even when the days are rough, you're at least doing something that you enjoy. Or at least something that at least knowing that while you're doing this particular line of work, whether it's to help people or make people have a better personal experience, you're doing something that you love. You're doing something that you're willing to put your all into in order to benefit others, right? Now, if you don't know your why, and that can make it rough, because going into work, working for somebody else, not doing what you love, and not knowing your why, it's kind of rough. If you don't like doing what you do for work, and then you have to do it on a Saturday, imagine having to do work on a Saturday. It's twice as bad. So let me tell you a story. When I first went to school, I was like 17 or whatever. I went to school originally to be an engineer, right? So family and friends were telling me I'm smart and boosting my head up. And so I did a little research and I learned that the starting salary was about $60,000, which today that's the equivalent of about $99,000. So I said, okay, cool. So I'm gonna go to school and be a computer engineer. So I just knew life was going to be great for me, right? Especially when I finished school. What I did not realize is that you have to take all the hard sciences, like the chemistry 1s and 2s, along with the engineering classes. And you know what? Let me tell you, I hated being an engineer. I remember having to take finals on a Saturday, having to take a final on any day of the week is already a horrible experience. Now, can you imagine taking it on a Saturday? That means that those engineering exams were so hard that they couldn't give it to us during the week. They couldn't give it to us during the regular school week. We had to block out our Saturday morning, right, just to go through that kind of excruciating experience. Have you ever experienced something that you thought was supposed to be so wonderful at first, but eventually it was so agonizing that you finally realize this is just not for you. This is definitely not it. Maybe it's a relationship, a job, or maybe a restaurant, right? You saw maybe some good reviews and you think, okay, let me try this out. And it turns out not it, right? This is something that you eventually knew it was just not the right fit. Have you had that kind of experience? Well, that was my experience with computer engineering. Needless to say, I had to reposition myself as far away as possible from engineering. So the truth is, I've always been interested in business. So I touched on that a little bit yesterday. But every once in a while, what you need to do is you have to look back and assess, right? So look up here. I'm about to give you a strategy right now. So my pastor used to always say that in the sermons. Look up here, right? So here it is, strategy number 1. Look back at your life and assess. One of the things you can do to assess is to inquire what you were doing as a child, right? This may not work for everybody, but it works for a lot of people. Why as a child? Because for the most part, as children, we play and do what we enjoy, right? Even without being provoked or promoted or prompted, excuse me. we play and do what we enjoy even without being prompted, right? Not affected by any outside circumstance except for our parents, right? And then if we're being quiet and we're just playing and so forth, for the most part, it's not a problem to our parents. So some of you parents can also relate. So, but the lemonade stand game was the game that I played on my computer, right? So me as a child, I used to play this lemonade stand game on my computer. And if I tell you the kind of computer, you will probably laugh or maybe probably never heard of it, but that's fine. But now as a child, the game I played on my computer was a lemonade stand game. So it's a game about business and entrepreneurship. So you sold lemonade you sold lemonade, right, in the game. You had to fight construction. You had to fight rain. You had to, I don't know if you had competitors. I think you might have competitors a little bit. But the point was to try to make money despite of all these complications, right? And so I know I recently Googled it to see if it came up. And there it was. The video game. There was a video showing somebody play the game. I was actually excited. To see it just because it just brought back so many great memories. Thank you, Bob Jameson and the MECC team. I think that company's actually now, I read that it was closed back in 1999, but it was a great game. And, taught me a lot about business and entrepreneurship at the time as a child, right? And that's the stuff I did for fun. So in addition, though, one of my favorite movies as a child, as a young lad, was The Secret to My Success, starring Michael J. Fox. A movie about a young guy who wanted to be a businessman, right? Moved from a small town to a big town, wanted to be a businessman. One of my favorite movies growing up, right? Business and entrepreneurship, that is what I loved. And by leaving computer engineering, I was able to reposition myself and move in the direction that was best for me. So take a look at your child. Take a look at your childhood. Maybe speak to your parents, your cousins, your siblings. Find out maybe what you did as a child that you were doing. What were you doing back then? Were you playing with dolls? Were you making your own clothes for dolls? Were you taking clocks apart and putting them back together? You may find something that maybe point you in the right direction. Now, there are other ways you can help find your niche as an adult. If you remember yesterday, we talked a little bit about the first step of repositioning strategy is to change your mindset. So if you haven't seen it, again, I encourage you to check it out. I'll try to include the link below. And when it comes to finding your niche, so that you can reposition yourself for your business, it is important to get yourself ready. What does that mean? Airlines always talk about put the mask on yourself first, right? Before you can try to help others. And when are you going to make yourself a priority? Making yourself a priority to find your niche so that you can reposition yourself to create a better life for your family, for your kids, for yourself. And wanting to do these things is nothing to feel guilty about. How long are you going to stay on the path that is leading you to nowhere, right? I thought you wanted more for yourself. I know I did. And when I was going through my engineering situation, I knew I wanted to have a great life. And what I learned is that engineering road, that was not it. That road was not going to take me there. So entrepreneurs who are not getting the success that they want are usually not working in the true area of greatness. There could be tons of reasons, but one of the reasons they're not working in the true area of greatness, right? Maybe you're doing what's safe. Or you are not doing what you should be doing as an entrepreneur, Maybe you've been doing something for 10, 15 years, but it has not quite panned out. But why? Especially if you you put your effort into it. Why is it not panning out? Either you're not working hard enough, which I doubt that's the case, or you're working on something wrong, or you're working on the wrong thing. So allow me to help you find your niche so you can reposition yourself and your business to a better life. So are you ready? Yes, you are. Say, yes, I am. Are you ready? Yes, I am. So I gave you the first strategy. Now here's the second one. Pull out a sheet of paper, create a space for 4 columns, 2, 3, right? Columns. And I promise you, once you find your niche, you'll be able to keep pushing forward and better drive your influence. So make the list of 4 columns, right? The first category, right? Education in top left. Now, most of you have enough education right where you are. I'm not putting down getting more education if that's the direction you want to go. But if you're going to get more education, make sure it is directly in line with what it is you want to do. I went to school to be a computer engineer, but I found I hated engineering. So write down education, make a list of every degree you currently have, specifically list all the courses you've taken in a traditional classroom, write down all the courses you've taken in the online environment or the stuff education space, things that you chose to do just for fun. Write those things down. Maybe you had a particular training with your job, right? Write those things down. List as many things as possible. Now in the remaining columns, I want you to write your skill set, okay? / what are you good at, right? And write all that stuff down. Don't minimize anything, okay? In the third column, write love and passion. What is it you love? And what is it you're passionate about? What brings you joy at the thought of it? And what brings you joy at the thought what brings you a smile on your face when you think about doing it, right? And in the fourth column, write service down. What do you want to do when it comes to service or giving back? Now, you don't have to write anything down. I'm not pushing you to go to a service if that's not something you want to do. However, a lot of us are called to serve, and service looks different for everyone. So write down what comes to mind. What does the world need? And how do you want to help the world get what they need? How do you want to serve? Now, I want you to give yourself 7 minutes per column, right? 7 minutes per column. And when you're done, see what stands out. Are there any patterns, right? Any things that come to mind, right? This is a practical application when it comes to finding your niche so you can reposition yourself. Okay, so you got 4 columns, right? Separate, write it down, give yourself 7 minutes each, and don't hesitate. Don't minimize yourself. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't pretend you have a magic wand, right? Just write what comes to mind. This is just for you. If you want to share it with me, you can, but this is for you, right? And this is like no judgment. Don't think about what your parents want, what your spouse wants. Think about what is it that you want to do. Think about things that you love, that you're passionate about, right? What classes have you taken? So I take classes on business, right? So I like business and entrepreneurship, excuse me. But I also choose to take online courses about business and entrepreneurship as well, right? How to do certain things, how to understand things, how to learn more, right? From different people who do well in business, I study positioning. So there's certain authors and writers who write about positioning. One of the pioneers, Jack Trout, he talks about, he wrote a book about positioning, and Alan Reese, so that's the area of my focus. And so, I try to read their stuff and listen to their interviews and so forth. Even though they're from back in the day, they're still very pertinent to today. Okay? Now listen, sometimes when we go to events and conferences to learn, and what we get is the rah-rah, right? We're excited. And I hope this is exciting for you. I really hope so it was, despite my mouth just killing me right now from coming from the dentist today. I got filling, right? I got filling all on the left-hand side, and I got to go back and get the right side done. I'm just trying to wait. You ever had your teeth worked on and you put that shot in your cheek? There's so many shots. Yeah, that wasn't a cool experience at all. Anyway, so we go to these conferences and events, right? And we get the rah-rah. So we're attending the conferences, we're excited, and we're learning some stuff. But at the end of the conference, right, or the events or the workshops, we're still asking, okay, so we got the rah-rah, but what do we actually do? What do we actually do? So I just told you what to do. Do this. So do this. Make the 4 columns. Give yourself 7 minutes each, right? Education. What is it you are good at, right? What are you passionate about? What is it you love, right? And passion and love can be maybe in the same column, but what you're good about can be a separate column. And then service. Do you have anything you wanted service-wise, right? Now look up here. Here's the key. No judgment. Don't try to pre-qualify. Don't worry about whether you think you're good enough or not. That's not what this is about. What is it that you want? I asked that question yesterday. Here's the practical application. Just to write. Write as if you have a magic wand. It's one of my favorite sayings. Write as if you have a magic wand. Now, good luck to you. And let me know how this assignment goes. So, So yesterday we made sure your mind is in the right place. That's usually how you want to start, right? We did that yesterday. And now we're moving forward on how to find your niche. So we want to, sometimes we have these limiting beliefs that's in our head, right? And it gets in our head and it keeps us from moving forward for whatever the reason may be. We're scared that someone's going to laugh at us. We're scared that maybe our family's going to laugh at us. No one's going to support us. And that's understandable. But you still got to go after it, because what's the cost if you continue on the road that you're on and not do anything different, right? Imagine yourself 5 years from now, what it would look like if you actually put the effort in now to go in the direction that you truly want, right? To find your niche and maybe change directions, We create these limiting beliefs that keep us from moving ahead, even though in a lot of cases, we already know what we should be doing. You already know in a lot of cases, right? So I gave you 2 strategies, right? So I want you to look at your childhood. That's one. What did you do for fun? Make a list of that. See what you find out. If you're not sure, ask your parents, ask your grandparents, your cousins, your siblings. They may have some insight for you, right? Teachers, if you keep up with your teachers, right? What was your favorite class as a child? And number 2, pull out the sheet of paper, make 4 columns, and brainstorm, right? And my task for you, just let me know. Let me know how that goes. Send me an DM, an email. Make a comment down below. I want to wish you good luck. Let me know how this goes. If you need help recognizing any patterns, let me know. I'll be happy to help you. And feel free to inbox me or DM me or comment below. So someone told me thank you yesterday for doing that. So I want to say you are very welcome. Again, I hope this is helpful to you. And let me know what we should talk about tomorrow. Probably something along maybe next steps after this. But if you have something specific, I can make sure to try to answer that as well. Okay? All right. Contact us at mstolard.com. Bye-bye.